Hey, everybody. Thanks very much for swinging by and checking out Todd-Bits today. We're really excited to have you once again join us. We got our friend back with us to give us a little update of some cool stuff that's going on at Viva Tierra. Please give it up for Chris Ford with Viva Tierra. Chris, welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Todd, thank you so much for having me back on Todd-versations. I've been following your weekly podcast and really impressed with the diverse, group of people that you've been interviewing over different topics, and it's been super educational and inspiring. So thanks for having me back.
Oh, absolutely. It is absolutely a pleasure. You need not have to ask to come back on. And thank you so much for your kind words. We appreciate it. We're really excited about what we're creating, what we're doing. And folks like you that have been supporting us and been a part of this are, the reason why it's chugging along. And you're right. We got some great guests. We have some amazing people coming up too. It's exciting. We're having a ball doing it. So thank you. But I got you back today because we got an announcement, which we're going to get to because it's a teaser. So we're going to do the soap opera thing and wait till the end type of thing to announce it. But I really wanted to kind of get an update on a couple different things that are going on. And first off, I want you to share with me, if you wouldn't mind, what's going on with, the organic to the core products coming up this fall. What's happening from the supply side with you guys?
Well, it's always an exciting time here at Viva Tierra, but right now we're in full swing on our Washington apple and pear harvest, and so we have a full lineup, and we're busy packing, harvesting, storing fruit into CA for later in the season, and then at the same time we're still wrapping up California. We're harvesting the last variety of the season, the Crips Pink, out of California. Nice. On a program. Yeah, and believe it or not, it's hard to imagine, but it's true. The trees are in bloom in Chile for the new crop as it's spring in the Southern Hemisphere. So Luis, our president, is just coming back from Chile and was at our farm down there in the cooperative and meeting with our growers about last season and preparing for the upcoming one. So, apples and pears, there's always something going on year round. So that's exciting. Another exciting thing is we've just started back our new crop organic kiwi program from Italy. In fact, we have our first container in port back east.
Cool.
And so that's on green, and we're also expanding our program this year to include gold and some red, which is relatively new. So
red kiwi, cool. You don't see that in the marketplace.
No, it's relatively new, and we've been waiting to make sure that we've got the right flavor, of course, because we're all about flavor. And so that's cool. We're going to do a little bit of a trial this year with a couple customers. And so that's neat that we're able to, expand the offerings within that category. And of course, we're in full swing with our ginger program out of Peru. And at the same time, we're preparing for our new supplier to onboard from Nicaragua. So that we have a Northern Hemisphere program. So basically, we'll have a year-round crop on ginger that's always fresh, which is that's really neat.
Key.
I don't really, I'm not aware of anyone else in North America doing that. So that's an exciting project to be part of. And then, I don't think many people think of us as a fruit company only.
Right.
We do, apples and pears are our core business, but we've been doing onions for decades. And so we're into our Oregon program now, and
nice.
Past the early season onions and into storage crop already. And, again, trying to stay ahead of things and pre-planning for Mexico and California, which is really more kind of spring, summertime.
Right.
There was the heat wave that happened, several heat waves, unprecedented in the Northwest this year, certainly affected the onion crop, and also kind of to be determined how it affected the apple crop. And I just think there's the heat, it's unknown how fruit is going to come out of storage. So we're anticipating, specifically onions will be shorter. And of course, a short crop always shows up at the end of the season. Right. And even on apples, certain varieties are more impacted than others, like Gala, for example. So, right. So there's always lots going on. So that's
that good pay attention warning right there, right? For retailers and wholesalers out there, and even consumers, of what may or may not happen. But nonetheless, it's good to get a little bit of a heads up. It should be in your buying strategy and your thought process as you're charting forward into 2022 and what that might hold from a supply side. So that's great info. One of the things I know, it's a hot button topic out there today, whether it's, using 18 wheels or it's, one of the 100 ships off the coast of California right now trying to get offloaded. Can you give me a little recap or a little bit idea what's going on logistically out there today, and at least what you're seeing from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it remains as challenging as ever. I mean, domestically, truck rates, as well as intermodal space and rates remain super high. We try to move, particularly packaging around by intermodal, and historically, there's been a pretty significant cost savings by doing it intermodal, but we can't even find space for
Right.
intermodal right now. So domestically, it remains challenging, and I think it's been very visible in the press, even outside the produce trade, about what's happening with the ports and the delays, and particularly in Long Beach. But there's delays in every channel, and that's coupled with increased rates. Some lanes are 6, 7, 8, 10 times as much as they were in terms of cost.
Yeah.
Compared to the previous 24 months. So for example, in Long Beach, the ocean carriers, a typical route from South America is anywhere from 14 to 19 days, and at this point, they're not even giving an ETA into the West Coast because there's such a backlog. So it's a challenge. And being an international business, where a big part of our program is imports, you really got to stay ahead of it and communicate more frequently, and just tell your customers and educate them about what's going on out there. So, but it is presenting some challenges. Fortunately for us, this time of year, at least on apples and pears, we're done importing. We do have, like I said, kiwi and ginger that come into the East Coast. And, so far, Philadelphia in particular has been pretty operational. Some delays within the shipping lines themselves, but the Philadelphia port has done a good job, and in some ways been lucky to be able to avoid at least what's happening on the West Coast.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the rates are absolutely unbelievable. You hear, $14,000, $15,000 truck across the country. Somebody was sharing a story with me of containers coming out of China that are normally, $800, $900, whatever the cost was, and they're $10,000 now. I mean, just everything's all over the board with what this is. And of course, it all goes back to labor. It all goes back to the fact there's not enough people to unload these boats, which is just staggering to me. How this labor shortage has all of a sudden shown up, but it certainly is a big problem, and I think it's going to continue to be a problem into 2022. So, to your advice about paying attention to what the heat's done to the apples, the same thing people have got to pay attention to is what this labor thing is. It really now has become almost a line item of work inside a person's daily job is to understand the ebb and flow of that labor problem and logistic problem.
I just don't know how does it catch up?
Yeah,
because things don't stop. Things don't stop, right? So, at what point and what's the how it just I'm not sure what the answer is there.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to continue to be a challenge. I mean, they're already talking about getting product off of boats for Christmas. I mean, I know that we've been looking at different equipment for our broadcasting things we're doing. It's just not. They're happy to sell it to you, but they can't tell you where you're going to get something. So I mean, it's a real challenge right now,
right,
all the way around. Yeah. One of the things you guys have done that I know we touched on the last time you and Luis came on and we hung out together, and something I really think is super cool, and I want to bring up because to me it drives my mantra of positive cost of food, is the packaging stuff that you're doing. You're working with ReadyCycle on your packaging stuff, and I just firmly believe that packaging is something that if we want to make the planet a better place, we have to start to invest in packaging like you're doing, and we need to keep those conversations elevated so people understand that. A costs this, but it's not good for the planet, but B costs this, it's really good for the planet. We need to understand what B actually is. So can you give us a little update on your ReadyCycle program with your packaging? Because I just think it's super cool.
Yeah, thank you. I do too. And we partnered up with Sembrilo with their ReadyCycle material, which it's really neat packaging. It's 100% recyclable. It's vegetable-based ink. There's no wax, no added adhesives. I mean, it's a really wonderful product. And we've decided to launch with our ginger program. Again, I think ginger root being a durable product, it fits really well with the material. Mm-hmm. And so, it ticks a lot of boxes. I mean, it's organic. The packaging is a non-plastic alternative. And, there are certain customers that see the value in that because it's not cheap.
No.
Compared to a plastic clamshell, I mean, the cost isn't even comparable. But, again, when you're driving positive cost of food, adding value we've gotten some really neat feedback directly from consumers, through our website and different portals about, hey, this is great packaging. I love this. And again, marrying it up with ginger specifically, I think it's really cool. And so, we're continuing to work with Sombrilo on ways to reduce costs as it scales up, and to move the material around in a cost-effective way, like I mentioned, intermodal versus over-the-road trucking type of thing. Right. But nonetheless, even those costs, of course, in the supply chain, they've gone up, right?
Sure.
Over the last 18, 24 months. But nonetheless, it's a really it's been a good, successful launch, and we plan to expand that material into other categories potentially in the future.
That's awesome.
For example, like kiwi.
I think it's so great. Again, to your point, yeah, it doesn't cost the same, but the net result to the planet is much better. The net result to the consumer is much better. It's a better story. You're doing the right thing. You're organic to the core. Why wouldn't you do it with your packaging? I'm glad to see you make an investment. I hope people return the favor back to you by going, we need to support this because it's a better alternative. And look, let's be really honest. As the price of oil goes up, so is the price of plastic, right? So, this packaging costs are going to continue to rise, even on the stuff that we want to try to take out of the system. So I just appreciate you giving us an update on that. And I hope people do support it, because I think it's really, again, I think it's a positive cost of food. But let's get to kind of the big announcement. Let's get to the drum roll moment right here. And the reason that we're hanging out together, and I'm excited about it because I've got to see the beta version of this. I got to check it out and walk through it and read all the good stuff and dive into the things that you talk about your company. You guys have launched a new website, and it's really comprehensive. It's deep. You've got your sustainability report. You're talking about all the good stuff that you guys are about. And, again, you're organic to the core, and you're wearing it on your sleeve for people to see. So give us a little update on this new website launch.
Yeah, it was a really cool project. And, I got the full support from Luis and the team to really, drive this project. And really, I think the new website, it highlights in a more prominent way our product line, and what we're doing to actively contribute to the industry in terms of like you said, innovative packaging and other sustainable ways of doing business. And there's a lot of new stuff throughout the site. And when you go and visit, I would point people specifically to our new regions page, and as well as our updated sustainability page. I mean, in regards to the region piece of it, we really follow the seasons and focus on flavor. And, we have organic growers strategically located in both hemispheres. So we're really always in season. And so I think that's a big message that we want to convey to the trade and to customers. In general, in terms of sustainability, a big part of our mission is based on like whole harvest marketing. So we work really hard to sell the entire crop through a diverse network of different channels. Not just retail, wholesale, but to processors, and we really want to sell the whole manifest, and that adds value to our growers. And in addition, we remain the only U.S. importer of organic apples from Chile, who also grows in the country, and as well as the first U.S. grower, packer, and shipper to build a dedicated storage facility. And so there's some really cool tidbits hidden within the website about the storage facility and how it's positioned to how it was built, and like using Boston ivy to cover the walls to help insulate, so natural ways to reduce costs. And it's pretty cool. It's
the site's great. You guys have done a really, really good job. In fact,
thank you.
Got it over. Wait a minute, I'm over here. I got it right here. Behind me on the screen, a little snapshot of the homepage right there. Check it out.
Yeah. Organic to the core.
Organic to the core, baby. I love it. What else is new and exciting?
Oh, what else is new and exciting? Oh man. Yeah. Well, let's see. We're always
besides hanging out. I mean, obviously, besides hanging out with me today. I mean, obviously, that's the highlight probably of the entire week, if I was guessing.
That is the highlight of 2021 so far.
Wow, so. That's an epic statement. Full of shit, but an epic statement.
There's been a lot of good things, but this is up there for sure.
Thank you.
No, we're continuously looking at new product lines from all over the world that would add value to our customers, but to the farmers as well. We get approached quite frequently about helping represent new product lines, but we're trying to be as thoughtful as possible about, can we take something on where we add value, right? And, in general, that conversation, we can't shy away as an industry about the conversation about the real cost to produce food.
Yeah.
And, we're farmers ourselves. We farm apples, organic apples in Chile, like I mentioned, the cold storage, and we're part of a larger cooperative that supplies apples to all over the world, right? Globally, from country to country, not just importing into North America like we do. And, costs are rising everywhere in the supply chain. And it's not just the visible costs like transportation and packaging that we talked about, but on the farming side, there's, water and the technology to better manage the usage of water, or simply in some cases, just access to water in general, enough water to grow a crop. Labor, farm level inputs like steel and fertilizers, et cetera. And then on top of it, growing organically, your yields are typically, less than conventional. And look, I respect all farmers, regardless of their method of growing, because producing a high quality crop, it's never easy. But really, it's our responsibility as an industry to continue to educate our customers and the consumers about the true cost to produce food. And, really, that's organic to the core to me. It's like, that's our job and our responsibility. And let's not shy away from that. It's not a bad conversation. It's just, that's the reality of what the world is. Nothing's going to get cheaper in the future. Nothing.
No, it's not. And I agree with you. I mean, look, that's what this platform's about. I mean, I'm the first person to bang that drum every morning I wake up. It is about talking about the positive cost of food. Go Orioles, by the way.
I do want to say go Orioles. Unfortunately, the worst record in baseball, but I'm a dire.
Well, you know what the nice thing about being in last place is that when you do this all the time, looking up, your neck never gets sore from looking down. So there's a positivity in last place. But you're absolutely right, Chris, about this. We need to talk more about the positive cost of food. We need to highlight that. We need to raise up. We need to recognize these people that are doing it and hold them up, as an example of what all we need to do. And I think you guys exemplify that. Organic to the core means a lot. I love the expression. I love what you guys have done with that. I love where you're heading with it. And I truly believe it's important that we keep banging that mantra. So listen, everybody, go check out Chris's new website, vivatierra.com, correct? It's got to be, I'm sure.
That's correct.
Vivatierra.com.
Yep.
Go check out the new website. It's really, really cool. So, take a hard look at what they're doing. Get into this ready cycle thing. Take a look at what it is. Find your own, moral compass and your values, and recognize that we've got to make changes in packaging. So let's invest in it now so we can get the cost, to your point, where we could scale and make this thing happen and make a better planet. I appreciate what you guys do. I really do. You guys are a great company. I really hold you in high esteem, and I appreciate you hanging out with me today and give everybody, an update.
Thank you. Thanks for the Todd-versation. I appreciate the opportunity always.
We're always happy to have you come back. Let's keep the updates going. Let's keep people informed of what's going on. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Everybody, thanks for swinging by and checking out Todd-Bits this week. We really do appreciate you guys, and go support the good things. That's why we're here, making sure you understand what they are and we keep them elevated. We'll chat with you soon. Check out Todd-versations. Don't forget Todd-Bits. We're all over the place. We're coming at you. Let's have fun. Let's keep talking. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.